Polish not your technique but your spirit, because true mastery begins within. True mastery is not found in the sharpness of your blade, but in the stillness of your heart. No matter how perfect your movements appear, if your spirit trembles, your art will falter. The sword follows the hand follows the mind, and the mind follows the spirit. If your spirit is clouded by pride or fear, even the finest sword becomes dull. You may train 1,000 strikes a day, but if you never strike at your own weakness, you have learned nothing. Technique can be copied. Spirit cannot. A warrior without inner discipline is like a sword without a sheath, dangerous even to himself. Before mastering others, master the silence within. When the spirit is polished, the technique polishes itself, because true strength does not come from the hand, but from the heart that guides it. A man obsessed with the perfection of form is still chained by form, but the one who transcends form, who finds freedom in simplicity, touches the realm of mastery. In battle as in life, victory belongs not to the fastest or the strongest, but to the calmest. He who conquers his own chaos cannot be defeated by the world. The blade of a master is invisible. It is not drawn in haste, nor used to prove worth. It moves only when it must, guided by purpose, not by ego. To polish your spirit is to polish your perception. When you see clearly, every shadow becomes a lesson, every wound. True mastery is not about control over others, but harmony within yourself. When you know your own heart deeply, you no longer need to compete. You simply move with truth. The greatest battle a samurai ever fights is not against an enemy on the field, but against his own ignorance and desire. He trains to see beyond illusion, to act without hesitation, to live without fear. For the warrior who knows himself has nothing left to prove. He becomes both blade and silence. He becomes peace itself. Technique without spirit is a body without a soul. It may impress the eyes, but it will never move the heart. What you are inside echoes through every action you take. Your movements reveal your mind. Your stillness reveals your strength. When your heart is clear, every strike is complete, not because it hits the mark, but because it carries no doubt. The student asks, "How do I know when I have mastered the way?" And the master answers, "When you no longer seek mastery." Because the one who chases perfection is forever incomplete. But the one who polishes his spirit, moment by moment, without ambition, without pride, he walks the way naturally. He becomes the way. You do not need to seek power, for power is born of presence. When your heart is unmoved, your movements become unstoppable. When your mind is silent, your perception becomes infinite. When you let go of control, you begin to control everything. What is the paradox of mastery? It cannot be forced. It must be realized. The ancients said, "The sword that cuts best is the one that remains sheathed." because restraint is the highest form of strength. A polished spirit does not boast, does not rush, does not fear. It simply is. In that being, it contains all power, and yet seeks nothing. To walk Musashi's path is to walk a lonely road. It is not about victory over men, but victory over the self that clings to them. Every failure becomes a stone beneath your feet. Every wound becomes a mark of growth. In solitude, you face your shadow. And in silence, you find your truth. One day your technique will fade. Your body will weaken. But if your spirit remains bright, you will still stand tall, because what is eternal is not your sword hand, but your heart's discipline. Polish that endlessly. That is the true art. True mastery is not about how many battles you win, but how deeply you understand peace. Not how many people you can defeat, but how completely you can know yourself. The master's strength is his gentleness. The D